I wanted to check this one out. Let's check it out.
我为什么要找俄罗斯媳妇儿？啊，我其实啊实属无奈，知道吧？啊，像我这熊样儿的啊，我跟你们说，我在国内就注定打一辈子光棍的守村人啊，再加上我给不起彩礼，所以我才找到这样子美丽优秀的俄罗斯姑娘的，好吧？
He does. That's his wife. Oh, lucked out. I don't. He really lucked out. And then, but the things he's saying is like absolutely insane. It shows that she has low value.
宝子们啊，千万不要跟我学啊！哥哥怕把你们带坏啊！
昨天收到了一个私信，让我不要抢中国的男人。哎呀，中国的好男人我没有抢啊！我老公说，当年给不起彩礼，才选择了不要彩礼的我，有我的错吗？
我是真的害怕那些国外的女生。
I think it's interesting. I think that's interesting. You know, I've always thought about I mean, I don't know, right? I don't like to fetish anyone, but I always wondered what it was like what it would be like to date a white woman. I've never dated a white woman. I mean, again, I'm not trying to fetishize white women or anything. Right? I've dated predominantly black women, right? I've only dated like one Asian girl. So, you know, I only know what it's like to date a black woman.
我们中国抢男人。
To be honest, I'm really getting more and more scared of those foreign girls coming to China to steal our men. Right now, I just want to quickly find a local down-to-earth guy, settle down, date seriously, and get married. After all, I'm already 29 years old, and I'm not that young anymore. I went to university in Moscow, and I've been to most of the countries in Europe, so I've seen a bit of the world outside. Precisely because of that, I really think girls need to open their eyes and see the reality clearly, instead of just being blindly led by all kinds of online opinions. Nowadays, many online platforms are constantly promoting this so-called idea of female independence. It sounds classy and idealistic, but a lot of the time, it's really just a kind of brainwashing aimed at girls like us. They create a false perception, as if marriage and men don't matter at all, as if women should live a fabulous life all on their own. As a result, they've actually scared off many of our local guys, so much so that they're afraid of dating, afraid of marriage, terrified of becoming someone's tool. Meanwhile,
Wow, I love that. She was speaking quite facts right there. I mean, if that's what she said, right? Mad facts.
those foreign girls have clearly spotted the opportunity and started fighting back hard, aggressively targeting the high-quality men in our country. You have to understand, the men in their own countries are often really bad. Drinking, domestic violence, jobless and idle lifestyles have become the norm. Several Russian girls I know told me directly that they'd rather marry into China than continue suffering under selfish and abusive local men. It's not uncommon at all in their countries for wives to be beaten.
You know, I had a woman from another country kind of said the same thing, right? When she was talking to me, she said like, I'd rather get with a man that's outside of my country because they would treat you differently than the men that are inside. I was like, wow. This is the thing where we always in like let's say in the US, right? We have so many women hating on men. So many women hating on men when we don't realize that a lot of other women would love men of certain other countries. So this is why I'm not saying, oh, get your passport and automatically just find a foreign woman. No. But I do encourage get your passport so you can have options. So you can open, right, the floodgates of options. When you try to just have a small pool of options, it limits you. It makes you kind of also desperate. And I think women do that. Women do that to themselves. Women will consciously, in my opinion, shrink their dating pool. So a lot of women going, "Oh, I just want wealthy men." Well, wealthy men is what? 1%? Right? 1% of the population. I just want tall men. what is that? 15% of the population? I want six-figure men. What is that? 20% of the population? So it's like you go for the minorities of minorities, okay? You go the small group of men. You are literally trying to shrink your pool. And I believe one of the best mindset a man can have is having as big of a dating pool as possible. Dating is not easy for men. So you have to try to create as many options as you can.
In black and blue by their husbands. In comparison, I think our Chinese guys are actually more family-oriented, practical, gentle in personality, and know how to respect women. When I was in Russia, I had a female friend who told me early on that she wanted to marry a Chinese guy and move to China, because she thought Chinese men are more suitable for living a stable life. I'm about to turn 29, and I really am getting anxious. I truly want to find a boy.
See, this is the thing where when you listen to women of other countries, I believe a lot of women will find that, you know what, you what is the word? What is the word? Shit, what is the word? Not you I guess you don't realize what you got, right? You don't realize what you have. You don't realize the men that are around you. Okay, when you actually listen to other women, you come to find that the men that you think are not that great are actually pretty good, right? I mean, again, no one's perfect. No one's perfect, but I think a lot of women misjudge how good the men that they have around them.
Boyfriend soon, preferably someone from Changsha, a local guy who's down to earth and ready to build a life together. I'm not asking for him to be rich or super handsome, but he must be responsible and truly love me as a wife, someone who'll protect me and cherish me.
为什么现在中国男人都喜欢娶外国的媳妇儿呢？
Why are more and more Chinese men choosing to marry foreign wives these days? Is it because we Chinese women are really not as good as foreign women? Or is it that they're blindly worshipping everything foreign? Or is there something else going on behind the scenes? I have a friend who works in wedding planning. One day, business was particularly busy, so he called a few of us friends over to help manage the event. And what happened at that wedding completely shocked me. It wasn't because the wedding was so luxurious or lively, but because there were exactly 8 couples standing on stage, and all 8 grooms were Chinese guys, but not a single bride was Chinese. You heard me right, there were brides from Japan, Korea, Russia, and Vietnam. It was absolutely jaw-dropping, like attending an international marriage gala. After the ceremony, we went to chat privately with the grooms to understand why they had chosen to marry foreign wives. Seeing how curious we were, they were very open and honest. They said these foreign wives were all introduced through friends. It wasn't that they didn't have chances to meet Chinese girls, and it certainly wasn't that they were chasing after foreign beauties on purpose. It was reality that pushed them step by step toward this decision. They spoke very frankly. The marriage requirements from Chinese women are just too high. Nowadays, many girls demand that men must buy a home outright, must own a car.
You know, this is a thing where this is why I support men to again have passports, because that mindset, what she just said, the high standards of women, they want perfection. Right? Chinese men are facing it now. American men have always been facing it, right? Or not always, but they are facing that now as well, right? American men are facing that. Chinese men are facing that. This high standards, like, oh, you gotta be good looking, you gotta be wealthy, you gotta be, give me a lifestyle, you gotta do. Okay. Most men can't do it. Most men cannot provide women a lifestyle. Okay? Most men can't. A stable man can provide for a woman. He can help her or provide her necessities. He can't give her a lifestyle. This is the thing. A lot of American men are facing it, right? And this is why I say open your options. Stop limiting yourself to the women around you. That's the thing. There could be amazing women around you, right? Women that would be submissive, women that would be loving, all this stuff. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with standards of luxury where you need to be, even though she's submissive, loving, all this thing traditional, she still have the mindset where I want a luxurious lifestyle. I want the luxuries. I want I want you good looking. I want you this. I want you that. I also want the luxury. Since I'm being traditional, right? Since I'm being amazing, I need you to be amazing. And a lot of men just don't qualify for it, right? A lot of men just, I get it. You're amazing. I'm average, right? So even the so-called good women or whatever still want top tier men, right? So what happens? Average men, they're pushed to the wayside. So this is why I say, you know, open up your options. You know, that's the thing where a lot of people don't realize. Yes, there are good women out there, but even the good women would still have high standards. It doesn't mean that, oh, bad women have high standards. No, good women would have it too. Good women don't want you to just, I don't know, pay a bill, pay rent, buy groceries. No, they also want you trips every month, every couple trips every year. If, fancy dinners, fancy dates, fancy nice presents. Um, you know, beautiful home. It's not easy. That's the thing where, again, most men are average. Most men are average. Most men cannot provide women a lifestyle. That's just how it is.
And must prepare a betrothal gift, bride price, of several 100,000 yuan just to get married. And if the bride price is even slightly lower, it's unacceptable. But these foreign wives? They don't ask for cars or houses, and they never bring up the topic of bride price. Some are even willing to work hard together after marriage to build a future home from scratch. What's even more realistic is, once a Chinese man grits his teeth and fulfills all those requirements, the pressure doesn't stop after the wedding. If he earns too little, the wife says he's useless. If he earns a lot, he gets accused of not caring about the family or not spending time with her. These men are out there working themselves to the bone to support their families, while also having to endure emotional demands and constant belittlement. And the reason these foreign women prefer to marry Chinese men is actually very simple. What they value.
Oh, I was wondering what the hell that thing was around her face, but okay, I get it. I think it's a headset with a speaker. I was like, what the fuck is that? So weird.
Is the Chinese man's sense of family, reliability, gentleness, and strong sense of responsibility. They don't think Chinese men are uncool at all. On the contrary, they think such men are perfect for building a life together. In contrast, we see.
I think that's amazing where white women here would not really look at Asian men, particularly average Asian men, give them a glance. So I think that's interesting. Asian man here, white women would definitely not look at average men, average Asian men, right? Not give Asian men a second glance. So that's interesting that some of these foreign women would actually like an Asian man. So that's interesting.
More and more so-called leftover women loudly declaring I'd rather be single than settle, while pulling out a dating checklist that reads like it's meant for a god, must have a house, a car.
Feminist mindset, right? That is same thing here. Oh, I'd rather be single than settle. Same fucking mindset here. Hey, our Chinese brothers are experiencing that shit too. Again, you see the result of it? Open up your options. Open up your options. Do not waste time. Do not waste your time in thinking that I'm going to still try to find a woman around here. No. I mean, yes, you might find it, but here's the thing where you want to have a big of a pool as possible. That's the point. I hate to think that, you want to go somewhere else because you can't find it here. You probably could, okay? But again, it's all about the pool, right? The dating pool that you have, right? So let's say here, out of 100 girls, right? Out of 100 girls, maybe you could find it. Maybe 5 of them would fit your criteria, right? Fit your would want you, right? Even 5 of them would want you. 5 of them would see you as a suitable content because a lot of men, they're very simple in their criteria, right? So it's about the women. So it's not that if men want the women, it's that if the women want these men. That's the thing. I think that's the bigger problem men are facing. Nobody in their dating pool wants them. It's not about men not wanting women. I think men are very simple, but men are facing a lot of women that don't want them, right? And so you may have a dating pool that 5 women that, you know what, may show some interest. While if you open your dating pool, right, to foreign women, you may have 10, 20, 30 women added to that dating pool. Now your dating pool is bigger. That's the point. Not because, oh, I can't find no one. It's that, you know, finding someone doesn't mean that they have found you, in a sense, right? If I found this woman, oh, this woman is beautiful. She's all the characteristics I want. Okay, cool. Does it mean that she wants me? That's the thing where we have to consider. And no one really thinks that, oh, you just can't find a woman in your country. You finding someone doesn't mean that they accept you. Right? It doesn't mean like that. It's a two-way street.
Savings, must be handsome, romantic, know how to cook, be capable, treat me well, be filial to my parents, and preferably always emotionally stable and willing to pamper me unconditionally. But here's the question, do you really deserve that? What qualifies you to make such demands? Are you truly good enough yourself? Do you have your own house and car? How much money do you have in your bank account? Take off your makeup and look at your real self in the mirror. How many women can honestly say they're high value? You expect men to give so much, but what kind of dowry are you bringing to the table? What gives you the right to demand?
This is a thing where men are not even expecting high. Men are not even asking for high value. Yet it's women. And it's usually women that they themselves are not that highly valuable, right? They themselves are not highly valuable, yet they definitely expect it. So now imagine this, high value men that they want, well, they can get you and they can get other women. Now, the men that aren't highly valuable, you don't want them. Well, okay, still they can find other women. And then you complain that you can't find nobody. Well, you didn't want the men that may fit you at your level, and you can't get the men that are above your level. So it's like, women are just they're suffering from their actions.
Demand a perfect man while you yourself only know how to take and never reflect. At the end of the day, men are not gods, and they're not robots either. They bleed, they feel, they get tired, they have emotions. When faced with an unequal relationship for too long, they grow weary, and they walk away. They're marrying foreign wives not because they look down on Chinese women, but because reality is forcing them to seek a space where they can finally breathe.
Right there. I love that. I love that. Okay? I love that. Men are not going for women outside the country because they want to, or that, whatever reason. It's because they are forcing them to seek a space they are finally able to breathe, where women would actually want them. Why do you stay in a place where where people don't want you? Go where they would want you, right? That's the thing.
So no, it's not that Chinese men have changed. It's that reality has changed. If this situation continues, we may only see more and more leftover women in China.
我发现现在很多国外的女人到我们国内给我们大龄剩女抢中国男人了，真。
Recently, I've been feeling this more and more clearly. A growing number of foreign women are marching into China's dating and marriage market, and they're taking our Chinese men. Not only are they coming, but many of them have already taken root here and even started families. Romanian, Russian, Vietnamese, and women from various Southeast Asian countries are all marrying Chinese men one after another. And what shocks me the most is, most of them don't even ask for a house, they don't want a bride price, and they don't come with a long list of demands. Some of them even quietly stay home after marriage to take care of the family and raise 3 or 4 kids. Honestly, I really don't understand what they're after. In places like Shanghai and Jiangsu that I've personally seen, it's not just a one-time.
They're probably after good men, right? Good, stable men, men that would love them, men that would cherish them, men that want them, men that wouldn't treat them like shit. It's like, this is the thing where women think that, oh, you have to either want wealthy men, or you it's very materialistic. That this is why it's like I say I'm gonna keep harping on it. Open your options. You can find a woman that's not materialistic, right? You can find a woman that you know doesn't live beyond the means, right? Beyond your means, beyond her means. A woman that's down to earth, a woman that sees that, you know what, what's important? Family, love, stableness, togetherness. Those should be important. Wealth is nice, but it's like, it's not the end all to be all. And so many women just put that like, I've done so many reactions of women saying, I want a rich man. Seriously? Do you know, do you know rich is, let's say statistically, that is like 1%. Right? If that. Probably even less. Rich, I'm deeming rich in the millionaires, right? In the millionaire standards. That's rare.
Time thing. A few times when I was in an ice cream shop, I saw some children who looked a bit mixed race. Out of curiosity, I tried speaking to them in English. It turned out, those kids spoke fluent Chinese. That's when I found out their mothers were foreigners and their fathers were Chinese. One of the kids had a mother from Belarus who married a Chinese man and had 2 very adorable children with him. This whole thing has made me think deeply. I can't help but ask myself, has our marriage and dating market become this competitive? There are still so many women in their 30s with good conditions who haven't gotten married yet, and now this new wave of foreign women is charging in, taking the initiative, fighting for a place in the race at all costs, even changing their nationality just to compete. As for me, I'm already 35 years old this year. In the past few years, I turned down some pretty decent guys because I was sticking to my standards, like hoping the man could offer a 300,000 yuan bride.
That's the insanity of women, right? We in America are facing the same shit. Be smarter, my brothers. Be smarter. This shit is ridiculous. Now, I mean, I'm not saying older women are just terrible, but like, why is it that your standards are so high, your value is so low? What do you think a man is getting that a woman younger than you would not give? Because the standard you're asking for, well, a younger woman would love that too. So let's say this a man can provide what she wants, the bride price, all that shit. Why wouldn't he just go for a younger woman that may want the same thing or maybe even want less, but she's younger, more pretty, more less baggage? Because this is the thing where a lot of women don't realize or accept. As you get older, okay, you will only gain more baggage, gain more trauma, just gain more life experience, and life experience will add trauma to your life. At the very best, it doesn't add more. But usually, okay, you do gain more trauma with life experience. Any little thing, right? You broke up with that man, you had a bad experience with that person. It all stores into your fucking brain and it shapes your personality. Get more jaded, more aggressive, more combative, more annoying, all this shit, right? All more negative, more, I don't know, whatever else. You don't get better with age.
Price, or have a monthly salary of 20,000 yuan. Back then, I thought I had the qualifications to insist on that. But now, when I look back, my heart really feels conflicted. When I see those beautiful girls from overseas, there's a kind of complex feeling I can't even describe. They come to China without asking for much at all. Not for houses, cars, bride price. They don't even care how much the guy earns, or whether he's 1.8 meters tall. Some are even willing to settle into the role of a full-time housewife. They don't look down on the man's parents, they don't demand their name be added to the house deed, and they're even willing to take on the responsibility of childbirth without complaint. And the most important thing is, they work hard to learn Chinese, and learn how to understand and provide emotional value. In contrast, I suddenly started to panic. I've even heard that many Vietnamese girls come to China, and some men only spend a few thousand yuan to get a wife. Even if that sounds exaggerated, these girls truly are easily satisfied. Even if the guy just shows a little care, says a few kind words, they already feel grateful and fully emotionally invested. And for a man, that kind of stable, gentle emotional feedback is incredibly attractive. So when I think about the fact that I'm already 35 years old, I can't help but feel anxious. My best friend used to tell me to lower my standards a bit, but I wasn't really willing back then. I kept thinking, let's just wait and see, maybe later. But now, I'm honestly starting to regret it. Because the dating market is just too intense. No matter how much I try to lower the price, I still can't compete with them. And the scariest part is, they're younger, they look great, they're good at expressing their feelings, and they know how to go after what they want. How do we even fight that? I'm honestly starting to get anxious. These foreign women are seriously going too far. They're just terrifying.
我是我们 You know, this is one of the things I wanted to say where I think one of the things that men can do is just be on your journey to being the best version of yourself. And then watch the world that women have created burn down. And then just, you know, shift through the rubble, per se. Or, you know, let women do, let women, you know, go about their life how they see fit. You work around it, right? You work around it. You know, like fine, you want to have your high standards, which is fine. High standards, whatever, you're work around it, right? Be on the journey to being the best version of yourself. Get a passport, open your dating options. Open your dating. Again, I do not say go find a foreign woman. No, because that brings problems too. But open your options so you know women what here are like, women there are like, women da, 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 da. Have more options.
第一个找外国老婆的啊，自从带回来这个老婆以后，在半天时间，全村上千号人都知道了，简直就是炸开了锅啊！很多人到我家里来拜访。他是文盲国家里的高材生，是一名医生。他23岁，我40岁。他很温柔爱笑，从来不跟我提过分的要求。最大的愿望就是吃一份披萨啊，有一个汉堡就是非常开心的事情了。所以我感觉自己非常的幸运。今天呢是除夕夜，祝大家
新年快乐，身体健康。
啊！祝天下所有的光棍在2025年能够脱单。
关于这个恋爱
Interesting. Okay.
结婚这一方面哦。
Regarding love and marriage, because I've had quite a few relationships both in China and abroad, I want to share something that I've observed and concluded from my own personal experiences over the years. I sincerely want to say this. For those older single men in China who still haven't found a partner yet, especially the average guys in their 30s or even in their 40s, it's really necessary for you to go out and see the world. Why do I say this? Because once you step outside of China, you'll realize that the world out there is completely different. You'll see a romantic ecosystem that's nothing like the one back home. Take me as an example. In China, I'm just an ordinary guy. My financial situation isn't impressive, and my family background isn't something to brag about. But once I went abroad, even with my modest conditions, I suddenly became high value in certain countries. The resources I possess became a form of dimensional advantage in their day.
This is the thing where I want men to realize that. Fuck the naysayers. Fuck the naysayers. Because here's the thing. Any of these people, they don't care about your life. They're not there to support you. They don't care if you succeed or if you fail. No, but you know what? If you do fail, that's when they will definitely come and attack you. They will definitely, dance on your grave if you do fail. So fuck the naysayers. Do what makes you happy. If it's legal, right? Legally, if you feel morally right about it, do what makes you happy. Open your options. Don't matter. I mean, again, if you're a good man, you're not seeking to take advantage of people. You're not seeking to take advantage of women. Right? So, and again, my audience, my message has always been towards good men. So I know these men are not. Oh, I want to seek some women that are underage, or I want to, just blindly have sex with a bunch of women and never care about. No, no. I know that my audience or the people that follow me, the people that my chat and shit like that, good men. Well, you have morals, you have principles. Do what makes you happy, right? Go open, have those options, try the world, see what it's like.
Dating markets. For instance, if you like fair-skinned women, you can go to Ukraine. Although it's a bit far, there are more women than men over there, and your strengths will be instantly amplified. If your conditions are slightly better, you can consider Vietnam. If your budget is limited, you can even go to Laos, Nepal, India, or if you're bold enough, go to Africa. Why do I recommend that older single men go to these places to find a wife? Because the relationship between men and women in China today has already become extremely antagonistic, and for us average men, it's simply not a fair playing field.
Same in America.
We just can't afford to play this game. Falling in love, getting married, having children, once you start down this path, it means you're going to have to spend hundreds of thousands of yuan or even more. If you win the bet, then sure, that's great, but the problem is, can you really win? 9 times out of 10, you'll lose everything. So why not just take a small fraction of that cost and use it to travel abroad, to explore other options, other possibilities? Of course, this takes some courage. You'll need to have a thick skin and a brave heart. Don't be afraid of language barriers, don't be afraid of cultural differences. As long as you're willing to take initiative, you'll eventually meet a woman who genuinely wants to be with you, and doesn't care too much about material things. There are women abroad who don't care about houses, don't care about cars, and don't care about savings. As long as you treat her well with a sincere heart, she'll be willing to build a future with you. I myself am living proof of that. So I urge those older single men in China who are still fantasizing about their fated one, please wake up. Open your eyes and look at the world. Women in China today have been lifted to the sky by capital, and some of them have been completely brainwashed by so-called feminist rhetoric. Deep down, they know many of their arguments don't hold water, but for the sake of profit, they pretend to.
I've said this countless times before, watching these videos. Feminism is poison. Feminism is poison. It is poisoning women around the world. So you better pick your ass up and do something now, right? I mean, who knows what other country, whatever place it will affect again.
Be clueless, pretend not to understand, even pretend to be asleep. Capital and media create gender conflicts for their own benefit, stirring up confrontation, and in the end it's ordinary people who suffer. But in reality, true happiness comes from men and women working together, understanding one another and striving together. So finally, I just want to say this. Brothers, stop limiting your options to the tiny patch of land in front of you. The world outside is far broader than you can imagine, and it holds many more opportunities that are truly yours. I hope you can all be like me and find the happiness that truly belongs to you.
Yesterday, I saw a guy online suggesting that Chinese older single men,
she's cute,
if given the chance, might as well consider finding a Japanese girlfriend. As a result, the comments section exploded, especially with some Chinese women mocking and ridiculing him, saying things like, Chinese men can't even find a wife in their own country, and now they have a nerve to dream about Japanese women. Some even took the opportunity to attack Chinese men, saying, this isn't good enough, that's not good enough. I just want to say, do you really not understand why the country still hasn't fully opened up?
You know, something like, me personally, right? It just made me think about it, right? It's kind of a fear of mine when if dating foreign women, like dating women, the passport bullshit, is that if you marry them, okay, and then again, all my shit is here, right? All my life, my money, any stability I have is here. I'm always scared if I marry someone overseas, bring them here. This is the mecca of feminism, right? This is the mecca of feminism. So, you know, I just think that it will poison a woman very quickly. So, but I don't know. I mean, part of me is like, fuck it. If it happens, it happens. You know, this is the thing where it's on to the next one kind of mindset, right? It's like, so, part of me is like, I wouldn't want that to happen, but another part of me is like, it's gonna happen regardless, right? If it happens, it happens. So for me, it's like, I wouldn't want to, like, if I married a woman like a Russian woman, right? Found a Russian woman over there. What am I gonna do? Move over there? I mean, even though my money translates, I wouldn't want to, right? I wouldn't want to. I love America. I love America. So I love my home. I love my life. Well, I don't know if I will say. I mean, I'm content, right? I mean, my life is quite good. I'm not saying it's that terrible. So, yeah.
The freedom of international marriage? Do you think it's just a coincidence? It's not. It's to protect you, this group of leftover women. Once international marriage is fully liberalized and Chinese older, average men can freely choose partners across borders. What kind of situation will you face? To put it bluntly, there really will be a large number of leftover women who will be completely unmarriageable. Reality is just that cruel. Some women, they don't do any housework, don't go out to earn money, and after marriage expect to rely on the man for everything. Day to day, they constantly demand gifts for holidays, surprises, emotional support, and they throw tantrums at the slightest dissatisfaction. But once international marriage is opened up, do you think you will still be able to demand these benefits? Do you think foreign men will spoil you the way Chinese men do? Try asking a foreign man for a 388,000 yuan bride price and see what happens. Let alone bride price. There was even a news story where a Chinese woman asked her boyfriend for a bride price in the Netherlands and was directly judged as committing marriage fraud and sent to prison. And then there are some women who use marriage as a means to scam. Do you really think foreign men will tolerate that? Honestly, it's only Chinese men who for the past few decades have been brainwashed so deeply by phrases like sense of responsibility, being family-oriented, and treating women well.
This is the thing where I don't know. I'm not saying that I can't find a woman here. I'm more leaning towards, I'll probably have an easier time of finding a woman that wants me somewhere else. Okay, that finds me attractive in multiple ways, right? Stably, stable attractiveness, financially attractive, whatever. So I'll probably have to, I don't know.
That they work hard to support the family while still bending over backward to please you. To tell the truth, if you get to marry a Chinese man, you should really count yourself lucky. Do you know how many foreign women now, including those from Korea, Japan, and Southeast Asia, are doing everything they can to find a Chinese husband? Why? Because Chinese men are hardworking, family-oriented, reliable, and even hand over their salaries for their wives to manage. So I'm saying this to those women still making sarcastic remarks in the comment section.
I could never do that. I don't think I could do that, right? Hand over my salary for a woman to manage. Because one, I love managing my money. I do, right? I love saving. I love budgeting. I love investing. So I wouldn't do that. Second, maybe I'm just a bit too jaded where I can't do it, right? I don't know. I don't want to say I don't trust someone, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, and that doesn't mean that I won't spoil a woman, right? I wouldn't spoil a woman and treat her, amazingly, I believe, but I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could have someone manage my money. But what do you guys think? It's interesting, right? I thought this video was good.